Why are women forced to suffer for the sake of man and society? Like a compass needle that points north, a man's accusing finger always finds a woman, always. Khalid Hosseini, 8,000 Splendid Suns. We have always seen it. We have always heard about it. But we have never gotten a direct answer, and we probably never will. Why are women forced to suffer because of men? Every day, you hear stories of women who are murdered, raped, stalked, abused, blamed, tortured. Should I continue? All because of a man and what brings him pleasure. All because of what heals his past traumas. All because of this patriarchal society that we live in, which caters to men and pits them on a pedestal as kings and pits women on the back burner to be used as a tool for show. Recently, a new interim in South Korea is being investigated by the National Intelligence Service, the South Korean FBI. The original interim was a channel that came to light in 2019 consisting of many channels on this app called Telegram that pretty much has no guidelines to be followed. So anyone can post whatever and whoever they want without consequences from the app. The original interim channels had men, specifically the masterminds behind it all, Cho Ju-bin, who is known as the Doctor, and Moon Hung-guk, who is known as God, who would blackmail women into sending them explicit dark content that consisted of brutal rape, self-mutilation, and so much more to be sold to the other hundreds of thousands of men in these chat rooms. With these new interims surfacing, we have seen once again how women have to suffer for a man's sick pleasure while he faces zero consequences. In contrast, the woman is at risk of losing her family, career, friends, reputation, and even her life for something that she is a victim of. In these new interims, we see that there are thousands of deepfakes, which are high quality AI videos and pictures of women and girls performing violent sexual acts. The most heart-wrenching part about this is that it is male family members, classmates, workers, and any man who is in association with these women are the ones selling the content while also receiving the content. You have men going into their mothers, wives, and sisters' rooms and sexually assaulting them, then selling that content to the other men in those chat rooms. Some men in these chat rooms have stated that they choose women and girls close to them because they want something over a woman. They want that woman to feel shame and embarrassment. How will a woman feel safe when she can't even trust her family member? In today's society, you hear men say men's mental health matters too whenever women are talking about how much our mental health is not taken seriously, that we get called moody, and that we must be PMSing for showing basic human emotion. Women are not allowed to show emotion. We are not allowed to be human. Neither do men see us as such. Yes, a man's mental health matters, of course, but it is not a woman's job to make it matter. The reason why men's mental health is not taken seriously is because of other men. Women did not create the patriarchy, so why must we fix it? If anything, women want men's mental health to matter because we know that if a man's head is not in its correct state, a woman's life will be made into a miserable hell. And in the court of law, he would get away with it because he was not in his right state of mind. There are many cases that I can mention in this article where a woman has suffered at the hands of a man because of his mental health. but if I did, this article would be millions of pages long. And you know I'm not exaggerating. On July 20th, 2021, Norma Kadeem was murdered at the hands of her ex-boyfriend, Zaire Jafar, after 2 days of being raped, beaten, tortured, then beheaded. Zaire was diagnosed with schizophrenia and was known to be a party guy who had violent tendencies behind closed doors. Norm was the opposite, which is why she called off their relationship. Although in this case, justice was served, many citizens of Pakistan believed justice was only served because Noor was daughter of a diplomat, Sakat Makadeem. I also believe this to be true because I have heard many cases of Pakistani women being murdered and no justice being served for them. But this particular case stuck with me the most. I'm not sure if it was because she was murdered in such a cruel and evil way, or because she was also a women's rights activist herself. Throughout the world, many women are forced to stay in relationships in which they are abused every day because of family reputation, not having the financial stability to leave, or being too scared to leave because of harsher consequences, like honor killings. Society still finds a way to ask her, why did you stay? The blame is on her and not the man harming her. In some countries like South Korea, the judge does not approve a divorce unless both parties agree, or if there is evidence of abuse or cheating if the other party does not agree. This means that women in South Korea who are abused in a marriage, if there is no documented evidence, are forced to stay in that marriage if their husbands do not agree to a divorce. Why is she forced to suffer for the comfort of a man and the family? Why is there a stigma around divorce but not around abusive men? Why is it that a woman is responsible for the reputation of her family name when men are the ones who carry the name on? If anything, shouldn't families teach their sons to be decent men so that their wives will not want a divorce because it would ruin the good image of the family name? Shouldn't men be taught to be human beings and not monsters so that their reputation as respectable men can be upheld? Instead of ingraining it into a woman's head that she must watch what she wears, don't go outside alone at night, and to not provoke a man. I will never understand why society treats women the way it does. I will never understand why we must have done something to a man for him to rape, murder, or beat us. How come there are little to no consequences for the suffering that women have to face at the hands of men? I will never understand why a woman is to blame for all that a man does to her. Women are human beings. We are not tools that can be used for pleasure or stress relief. We are women. We are human beings. What has a woman done to make society hate her so much? Why must we suffer so much? Why are our voices always forced into silence so that a man can take charge and lead? I read somewhere that a woman's intuition is only strong because we have always had to be on the lookout for danger. We have always had to read the room, because if a man suspects us of something, he will point his finger at us and we will suffer the dire consequences. What has a woman done besides existing that society hates her so much so that she has to suffer the dire consequences of being born a woman?